Mike, can you hear me? Okay. Let's check. Sorry, Mike. Mike, by that definition, by the way, just earlier, I think, Mike, you are definitely on the downside. It starts at 56. You know, on my way over here today, I honestly, I was thinking, took the long lane and drove up here, and I was thinking how really fortunate I am to have worked for 31 years in the city of Dublin. And I see faces here that have been here as long. I've already pointed one of them out, I guess. Joel's been here as long as I have. But what a great thing to be able to work in a wonderful city like Dublin all this time and see it grow from what it was when I started to what it is today, and to be a part of that. So I really feel lucky. As Sue said, I was fortunate to actually be named interim chief in 2010. I got the job full time, thankfully in 2011, early 2011. But to give you some perspective, if you have not been in Dublin for 31 years, I'll tell you some of the changes. When I started here, I really didn't know anything about Dublin. I'm from upstate New York, and everybody told me Dublin was the place to go. Dublin was the up-and-coming city. And I got here, and I honestly was kind of wondering if I'd been steered wrong. When I started here, the police department had 14 officers. There was probably, like 4,500 people in the village of Dublin back then? Maybe. Heck, Muirfield alone is over twice that size now. We had, I think, 4 police cruisers, and it was a much, much different place. Today, obviously, everybody knows we're almost 44,000 people in Dublin. We're the largest suburb. Our police force, we have almost 100 people in our police department, 70 police officers. We answer about 25,000 calls for service every year. We take at least 36,000 911 calls every year. We'll talk about that a little bit more because that's kind of significant. We file almost 1,000 criminal charges every year. It's a much different place. But fortunately, despite all that growth, as Sue said, we are fortunate that we have still an incredibly safe city. You know, the awards that come out about being the top 100 in the country, top 50 in the state, there was actually one that said we're the number 4 suburb in the country in terms of safety. I don't pay too much attention to those, but I will tell you this. One thing we do pay attention to is our crime rate, because our #1 job is to keep crime low in Dublin. And the one thing we have seen that is significant, I think, in our city is for about 8-9 years now, we've been focusing very, very closely on watching our crime rate and trying to focus on putting our resources where the crimes are occurring. And in that time, we have gone from kind of the middle of the road in terms of our crime rate and compared to all the other suburbs to the absolute lowest crime rate of any suburb in the area. And I think that's significant. We've done that, I think, not because we've got the most cops, we don't. I think Westerville's got more police officers than we do, but I think we've been really trying to maintain a laser focus on doing what we're supposed to do, and that's keeping Dublin safe. One thing we did that I think is significant is we actually don't have any police officers in our department now that are doing anything except what a police officer could do. We have no officers working in positions that a civilian could do. That was kind of a bumpy road to get there. It was difficult. We actually transitioned to a civilian accreditation manager a couple of years ago, and we're coming up on our first on-site for accreditation with our new civilian accreditation manager, and she's doing a wonderful job. But there were people who thought that couldn't be done, and it's working very well, and we're pleased. So if you meet Lynn Odenthal, tell her thank you, and tell her we better have a good on-site, or I'll take back everything nice that you said. I was asked to speak about a couple different things.